before that starts. All right, well, good evening. Welcome to Glendale City Council meeting, November 23rd, 2021. The meeting is called to order. Roll call is not necessary. All members are in attendance. If you take note of that. The next two items on our agenda are our invocation and also our Pledge of Allegiance. Tonight, our pastor, Tim Glass from Harvest Church, will deliver our invocation. Gentlemen, if you're wearing hats, I don't see anyone wearing hats. If it's appropriate, please remove it. If everyone would please stand for the invocation, and please remain standing for our invocation. Pastor?
I don't typically read prayers, but tonight I'm reading a prayer written in the late 1700s by America's first Commander-in-Chief, President George Washington. Let's pray. Holy and eternal Lord God, who art King of the heaven and Watchman of Israel, that never slumberest or sleepest, what shall we render unto thee for all thy benefits? Because thou hast inclined thy ear unto me, therefore, I call on thee as long as I live. From the rising of the sun to the going down of the same, let thy name be praised. Among the infinite riches of thy mercy towards me, I desire to render thanks and praise for thy merciful preservation of me this day, as well as all the days of my life, and for the many other blessings and mercies, spiritual and temporal, which thou hast bestowed on me, contrary to my deserving. All these thy mercies call on me to be thankful, and my infirmities and wants call for a continuance of thy tender mercies. Cleanse my soul, O Lord, I beseech thee, from whatever is offensive to thee and hurtful to me, and give me what is convenient for me. Watch over me this night and give me comfortable and sweet sleep to fit me for the service of the day following. Let my soul watch for the coming of the Lord. Let my bed put me in mind of my grave and my rising from there of my last resurrection. O Heavenly Father, so frame this heart of mine that I may ever delight to live according to thy will and command, holiness and righteousness before thee all the days of my life. Let me remember, O Lord, the time will come when the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall rise and stand before the judgment seat, and give account of whatever has been done in the body. Let me be so, prepare my soul that I may do it with joy and not grief. Bless the rulers and people of this, and forget not those who are under any affliction or oppression. Let thy favor be extended to all my relations, friends, and all others to whom I ought remember in my prayer. And hear me, I beseech thee, for the sake of my dear Redeemer, in whose most holy words I further pray. Amen.
Amen. Everyone, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Pastor.
Yeah.
Okay, next on our agenda is the consideration of the minutes from the November 9, 2021 voting meeting. Council members, do you have any corrections or additions to the minutes? Hearing none, can I get a motion to approve November 9, 2021 voting meeting minutes?
Yes, Mayor. I move we approve the minutes of November 9, 2021 voting meeting.
Second.
I have a motion from the Vice Mayor, second Councilmember Clark, to approve the minutes. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Appears the ayes have it, do have it. Motion carries. We have no proclamations today. Moving on to our next order of business is our consent agenda. Items 2 through 9 items on the consent agenda are of routine nature. They've been previously studied by this council at a workshop session. They are intended to be acted upon in one motion by this council. Do we have any speaker cards for any of the consent agenda items?
No, sir.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to approve consent items 2 through 9?
Yes, Mayor, I move we approve consent agenda items 2 through 9.
Second.
I have a motion from Councilmember Tomachoff, second from the Vice Mayor, to approve the consent agenda items 2 through 9. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Here's the ayes have it, do have it, that also carries. Moving on to consent resolutions. Ms. Barrow, can you read consent resolutions items 10 through 14 by number and title?
Item 10, resolution number R 21-115, a resolution of the Council of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, authorizing the acceptance and expenditure of a grant from Firehouse Subs Public Safety Foundation, Inc. in the approximate amount of $21,381.77 for a Paratech lift bag kit, strut kit, and accessories on behalf of the Glendale Fire Department. Item 11, resolution number R 21-116, a resolution of the Council of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, authorizing the acceptance and directing the entering into of the grant in aid award of $10,025.60 from the Tohono O'odham Nation for the Sleep in Heavenly Peace program. Item 12, resolution number R 21-117, a resolution of the Council of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, authorizing and directing the entering into of an intergovernmental agreement with Maricopa County for operation and maintenance of Citrus Road from Camelback Road to Bethany Home Road, and from Bethany Home Road from Citrus Road to Arizona State Route 303, adjacent to Allen Ranches. Item number 13, resolution number R 21-118, a resolution of the Council of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, authorizing and directing the entering into of an agreement to share costs for the feasibility study of Bartlett Dam modification alternatives and Salt River Project Agricultural Improvement and Power District in an amount not to exceed $400,000. Item 14, resolution number R 21-119, a resolution of the Council of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, requesting exemption from the requirement by the Industrial Commission of Arizona to post security for the City of Glendale's self-insured workers' compensation claims. And that concludes the consent resolutions.
And have you have any speaker cards on 10 through 14?
No, sir.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to approve items 10 through 14
Yes.
on the consent agenda?
Yes, Mayor, I move we approve consent resolutions 10 through 14.
Second.
I have a motion from Councilmember Tomachoff, second from Councilmember Clark to approve items 10 through 14 on the consent resolutions agenda. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. Here's the ayes have it, do have it. So ordered. Land development actions. We'll now move on to just that item number 15, Ms. Bauer.
Ergas 303 annexation application AN 230 for approximately 63 acres located south of the southeast corner of Northern Avenue and Cotton Lane.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the council. Here to provide staff report this evening on this item is Tabitha Perry, our interim planning manager.
Thank you, Mr. Phelps. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Staff is currently reviewing applications requesting annexation into the city limits and a companion rezoning application for a future industrial development for approximately 63-acre site located at mid-block along the east side of Cotton Lane and south of Northern Avenue. The first step in the process was on October the 12th of this year at a city council workshop where council provided consensus to proceed with the requested annexation application. Before you this evening is the required public hearing on the blank petition to provide an opportunity for public comments on the pending annexation adoption request, tentatively scheduled for December the 14th. There is no action required of council regarding the blank petition. As shared at the workshop, the annexation and rezoning application request will allow for growth management in the city, as well as the opportunity to determine land uses, influence design quality, and provide additional employment opportunities. So the annexation project is titled Ergas 303, which is approximately 63 acres located south of the southwest corner of Northern Avenue and Cotton Lane. The property is currently in the county with zoning classifications of Industrial 1 and Industrial 2. Upon annexation, the city applies the most like zoning for the property, in which that would be light industrial. The applicant has submitted a rezoning application to rezone the property from light industrial to PAD, planned area development, to allow for an industrial and manufacturing development. Here's an annexation map just to provide context of the subject site in comparison to where it lies within other property that is within the city limits. And with that, Mayor and Council, this concludes the presentation. Now is the opportunity to hear from any citizens wishing to speak on the application. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, public hearing is now open on item number 15. Any questions from the council? Hearing none. I have no speaker cards up here. Do you have any?
No, sir.
Okay. No one in the audience wishing to speak on this item? Public hearing is now closed. There's no additional action required tonight for this item from the council. So item 16, Ms. Bauer.
Ordinance number O21-77, an ordinance of the Council of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, extending and increasing the corporate limits of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, State of Arizona, pursuant to the provisions of Title IX, Chapter 4, Section 9-471, Arizona Revised Statutes and its amendments by annexing certain territory located at the southwest corner of the Bethany Home Road and Saraval Road into the city of Glendale, consisting of approximately 75 acres, to be known as Annexation Area Number AN-229, amending the zoning map, providing for an effective date, and directing the city clerk to record a certified copy of the ordinance. Public hearing.
Okay. We have any speaker cards on this one?
No, sir.
Okay. Public hearing is now open on item number 16, ordinance 021-77. Any questions from our council? Seeing none, I have no speaker cards. Is there anyone in the audience wishing to speak on this item? Hearing none. Public hearing is now closed. Can I get a motion on item number 16, ordinance 021-77?
Mayor,
Go ahead.
I move we pass and adopt ordinance number 021-77.
Second. I have a motion from Councilmember Clark, second from Councilmember Aldama to approve the recommended action. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Councilmember Aldama, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Clark, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Milner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Tomachoff, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Turner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Vice Mayor, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion carries unanimous. Ms. Bauer, would you introduce item number 17, please?
Ordinance number O21-78, an ordinance of the Council of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, rezoning 75 acres located at the southwest corner of West Bethany Home Road and North Saraval Avenue from RR 45 Rural Residential to PAD, Planned Area Development, for a development plan entitled Organics Loop 303, amending the zoning map, providing for an effective date, and directing the city clerk to record a certified copy of the ordinance. Public hearing.
Okay. Public hearing is now open on item number 17, ordinance number 021-78. Ms. Perry, do you have anything that you need to say?
Yes.
Did you need to speak on this?
Yes, Mayor.
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Mayor and Council, this is the companion rezoning application to the Organics Loop 303 annexation adoption that Council just voted on in a previous item. Within the proposed PAD zoning application, the applicant's permitted land uses are compatible with Loop Air Force Base as well as the city's general plan. Staff believes appropriate development standards are incorporated within the PAD document, as the standards are compatible with similar PAD zoning districts in the area and when the site is developed. The development will be complementary to other developments in the subject area as well. The applicant completed the citizen participation process and all legal requirements were met. Relative to the citizen participation process efforts, the city requires notification within a 300-foot radius of the subject property, and the applicant elected to send notification letters to property owners within 600 feet radius. The applicant hosted a virtual meeting in which there were 0 attendance for those notified. Recently, the applicant and staff were made aware of an adjacent property owner to the west indicating concerns with the application. In summary, the concerns were regarding access points, performance standards, and not being notified of the application. Like so, today, staff also received an email from an adjacent property owner who had concerns with the number of traffic volume that is being generated for this particular application as well as other developments in the area. The applicant has and will continue to work with the city's development team and other required jurisdictions to finalize access points during the design review process. Staff believes the land uses with associate performance standards are appropriate to mitigate potential concerns. And while staff cannot verify post office delivery, staff did verify that the property owner who identified they were not notified, address was included in the affidavit signed by the applicant, stating that those property owners within the 600 feet, that they did mail the notification letters to them. So the general information is the Organics Loop 303 PAD proposal is for a vacant site consisting of 75 acres located at the southwest corner of Bethany Home Road and Cerebral Avenue. The request before you is to rezone the property from the city initial zoning of RR45, which is for single residence, to PAD, planned area development, to allow for a mixed-use development. The city's general plan designation for the subject site is loop-compatible land use area. And the proposal before you with the rezoning will be in compliance with this general plan land use designation. Here's a zoning map for the subject site, which also depicts what surrounding zoning classifications are for property that is within the city limits. Here's an aerial map just to provide additional context to the subject area. The PAD, just to summarize some of the information that's in the PAD, the permitted uses are typically supported of those that are identified in the city's zoning ordinance for light industrial, M1, and for C2, general commercial land uses. The applicant is proposing for a maximum building height of 60 feet, where the zoning ordinance would allow for 30 feet. And council, as you are aware, for a lot of the industrial buildings, that the height of 30 feet just does not meet the needs of the market right now. So staff believes that the maximum building height that is being proposed is acceptable. Here's a conceptual site plan of what is being proposed for the subject site. There is 2 buildings that are being proposed at approximately 851,000 square feet. As of now, Bethany Home Road is projected to make half-street improvements with right-of-way dedication. Bethany Home Road will be maintained by the city. Cerebral Avenue is projected to remain in the county, and like so, they will have to give up on right-of-way dedication and do half-street improvements. Missouri Avenue is currently undeveloped, and it's intended for Missouri Avenue to remain in the county. Depicted on the exhibit now, there's stipulations 5 and 6 that addresses a shared common access easement. The shared access easement is required to be all on the applicant's property, so it's not being projected that it will be in between 2 properties. The applicant has agreed to have all of that access for off of Missouri Avenue and then going north, south on the property line of the property owner in question. Here's elevations just to give council an idea of how the project could be developed, but once again, they do have to go through design review. Planning Commission provided a recommendation of approval of the rezoning application subject to stipulations that are outlined in the staff report. Mayor and council, if council desires, I'll be happy to read those stipulations into the record, but the stipulations in the staff report does match the stipulations that is outlined in the ordinance. And with that, I'll be happy to answer any questions council may have. Like so, the applicant is here to make a presentation and or answer any questions that council may have.
Okay, before we go there, I have two people that would like to speak on this. They both are in opposition. I'd ask Tom Howard to come forward. And then, sir, right after you finish speaking, I'd ask Cynthia Graber if she'd be ready to speak immediately following. For the record, we'll need, come on up to the microphone. Okay, Tom Howard first, please.
I defer to Cindy.
I can't hear what you're saying.
I defer to Cindy. That's first.
Okay, that's not normally how it works, but go ahead. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Again, I'll need your address where you live, if it's in the city of Glendale, the district, if it's not city, the city that you actually live in. And your time is 3 minutes starting now.
Starting right now? Okay. Mayor, City Council, and City Council members, my name is Cynthia Graber. I'm the property manager of the 16601 West Bethany LLC, as well as the property manager of the Blake Land Development Company. I object to the approval of ordinance number 02178. The developer and engineers has not considered our property and water rights and personal liberties. The developer and or engineer have never engaged with me. They had the opportunity 6 different times. I have a hard time whenever they tell me that they sent it. I mean, everything, Moon Valley Nurseries, that's where everything goes to the 16601. Everything, every bit of mail that comes in there is time stamped, and it's submitted to me right away. Never was I notified. And the other one goes to my mom's personal address, and I didn't receive anything. 6 different times they could have notified me. I found out by accident about the planning meeting. I was attending for another meeting, and so I was flabbergasted whenever I saw it. I will not approve an easement on the east side of our property. In the past, our property irrigation is run east to west. Sometimes it goes north to south, as it is right now. But we've had our Hall Road on the west side, in the middle, and also on the east side. So it's been all over on the Hall Road, depending on what kind of crops we're growing on the property. I'm a 2nd-generation farmer, and hopefully we're going to have 5 generations coming up. But the one thing I will not have happen to us is my water rights, as well as my personal property rights, affected. In conclusion, please not consider approving this plan. I mean, this has a great impact. I've tried to engage. As soon as I found out about it, I was on the phone with your planner as well as the engineer. I asked for all the paperwork that they had, so I worked 40 hours since they gave it to me, trying to figure out what happened, where it was going, and I object to it. There's the corner that they want to put their ingress in would directly impact me. That's the only area that we come into this currently. I received an email from Ken Roth, the developer, and he said, please take a look at the site that shows how the common entrance would work. Notwithstanding, we can build out our half of the entrance and on our parcel only. Well, you know what? That's not going to work. I can't have a shared entrance. I mean, this is a palm farm. We bring big equipment, tractors. I mean, we're ongoing. We generate about $5 million a year on this project. And I'm not going to destroy my property for the benefit of another property. People need to keep us in mind. We are a farmer, but we've been farming out there since the 70s.
Okay, and your time's up. Thank you.
Thank you.
Tom Howard.
Can I say one thing to you?
You could give us where you live. You didn't state
I'm sorry.
that.
My address is 7315 North 16th Avenue, Phoenix, Arizona.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Howard.
Tom Howard, I'm Cindy's wife, Cindy's husband, Cindy's my wife. My address is 560 West Montebello Avenue in Phoenix. I would just add briefly, she was describing the significance of the property. It is certified property. They went through a significant process so that the palms that are grown in that property can be sold throughout the country, and it was not a very easy process to do. As I looked at the map that was up on the wall, it looked like the access road is going to be right along the lines of the palms that are currently being grown there. But there is about a 30 or 40 foot haul road she was describing over which trucks currently go to access those materials. If they have to share that with the current development, it would not only interfere, of course, with their ability to run that farm and to take these palms all over the country, but also to be able to access the water rights should they need to draw. There's a ditch actually to the immediate east side of that haul road that sometimes supplies water to that property, and that ditch would now be underneath, apparently from the aerial, underneath the access road. Those are the only 2 points I would add. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer questions.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, do we have any other cards?
No, sir.
Okay, is there anyone else who'd like to speak on this item?
Mayor,
Did the applicant need to speak or want to speak?
Mayor and council, the applicant would like to have an opportunity just to speak.
If you'd like to.
Mayor, council, my name is Ken Roth. I was up here a long time ago when things first started out there, and I'm delighted with the very nice projects that have gone out there on the 303s. But I wanted to just get back to you. I reached out to Mrs. Graber early on, as soon as I found out her phone number, and I explained to her that we weren't on her property at all, as your site plan shows, but I offered that we could put in one common entrance that we could share that would just go directly off to that road that she's referring to if she would like. The only thing that we would request is that there be boulders and such, that the dirt from the farm fields don't go on the roads, which I'm sure is noticed and would be required anyway. So we are not taking any of their property. We have never asked for any of their property. We are granting them access that had been requested by the planning department in case they needed it. So I just wanted to let you know I reached out, tried to do everything I could to make sure that she was okay with it. I went through her email, and a number of those things are really not correct because we did have public notices, but just because nobody showed up didn't mean that we didn't appropriately file for the public notice. So if any of you have any questions for me, please let me know.
All right. Anyone in the council have any questions?
Mayor, I don't have questions for Mr. Roth, but I do have some for Ms. Perry.
Okay.
Thank you, Mayor. Mr. Ross, stipulations 5 and 6 from the Planning Commission indicate a 45-foot common, parentheses, shared private access easement along the west property line from Bethany to Missouri, and then also from Missouri to Saraval. If I'm understanding what you just said, that easement is entirely on the property that you own, is that correct?
Yes, Councilman, it is. It's totally on our property, and it was there in the event they next door requested access. We made that available for them and emergency vehicles, et cetera. But I found out that they're making quite a bit of money on it, and according to her, that will never be anything but a palm tree grove. So our offer to give them access really isn't needed or required. But it's they need it, so.
And if I could continue then, it says common, parentheses, shared private access. So you're saying that, I want to be clear as to what common and shared and private means, and the shared part, who is it shared with and where is that memorialized?
Okay, that would normally be shared with the neighbor for their access onto their property to the south, technically. For example, other projects up there on Saraval have shared access, and they have common rules for using the road. And if it requires maintenance, they each pay half if the other party's using it. But in this case, I don't believe there would ever be an easement because they don't want to ever use it. So that is there for them should they need access. And it means private shared, meaning it's not a public road.
Okay. So Mayor, then if I could continue and maybe wrap this up. So you're willing to allow your neighbor to use 45 feet of your property to access their property, and you're willing to memorialize that, but then also it will be private only to those people who are listed on the agreement that it's shared with. Is that correct?
That is correct. And I think the intent there was if they develop that parcel, which is a beautiful parcel, but they make quite a bit of money on it, so they say they will never put it into a development. Also, part of that was for emergency access, so that if an emergency vehicle had to get down to the very south end of that parcel, they could come through ours and get over to them for any emergency requirements. That was the initial intent, and that will still stay there. If somebody else develops it, then they can always come in and ask for access should they not want to just do it on their own private drive on their parcel. Most of these big users would like to have a road that they can secure with a guard gate just because of the sanctity of their property.
And I think just one last question, Mayor. The previous speaker had mentioned an irrigation ditch that runs along the that north-south alignment there. Will that ditch be preserved? Is it on your property or their property? Will it be preserved?
No, it is not on our property. It is on their property. So we don't even have anything to do with that irrigation ditch.
You don't see yourself as a threat to that irrigation ditch?
Not at all. Our wall or whatever we have would be to the east side of that irrigation ditch. The irrigation ditch and all of its sundry supply areas are not on our property.
Okay. Thank you, Mayor. I think that's it.
Ms. Clark.
Thank you. Actually, Ms. Perry, if you would, for re-emphasis, because City Council was sent a series of a couple of emails by Ms. Graber, so I want to get some things on the record, even though they have been asked previously. One with regard to notification. Who sends out the notification letters? The city or the applicant?
Mayor, Council, initially in the beginning steps of the citizen participation process, the applicant sends out the notification letters inviting the property owners to a virtual meeting in this particular case, but also just to give them as detailed information about the project, just in case we don't require the neighborhood meeting or someone cannot attend the neighborhood meeting. So directly, the applicant makes the first initial contact with sending out notifications letters. Then when the application moves forward to the public hearing process, city staff sends out postcards summarizing what the application is about for the rezoning application. And we use the mailing list that the applicant provided to staff to send those letters out to property owners. And then once again, when the application is heard before City Council, staff sends out another postcard to the surrounding property owners and interested parties, advising them once again of the application proposal and the date of the City Council public hearing meeting.
So in the list of notified, people to be notified, were the adjacent property owners, namely, wouldn't have been Ms. Gruber, I think the name would be Lake. Was that name on the notification list that the applicant supplied to you?
Okay. Mayor, Councilmember Clark, and council members. So before me, I have the mailing list that the applicant provided to city staff. The two addresses that I can identify that the notification letters were sent to is Blake's Land Development Company, LLC, at an address of 1335 East Orchard Lane, Phoenix, Arizona, 85020. The second address that very well may also be to the property to the west that we're speaking of is, I'm going to read it in its entirety, that is, as it shows on the label. 16601 West Bethany Home Road, LLC. 19820 North 7th Street, Suite 260, Phoenix, Arizona 85024.
Okay, so we know for the record, we can't attest to what the applicant, although he provided you the list, we can't attest to the applicants having sent out the notification, but we definitely know the city sent notification to those two addresses. Now, they claim they didn't get them. That could very well be the post office's fault, but I think it's fair to say it was not on the part of the city. You had the appropriate addresses, you sent out the notifications, correct?
Mayor, Councilmember Clark, council members, that is correct. And to the best of my knowledge, we did not receive a return postcard for those two addresses.
All right, secondly, let's get back to this access road again, because the opposition to the application says that, stated in their email, they would never grant access, or they would never grant an easement for access. That is not required because the applicant has stated, and you have stated, that the access road will be strictly on the applicant's property. Is that correct?
Mayor, Councilmember Clark, and council members, as it's written in the stipulations 5 and 6, it is intended for those access roads to be 100% on the subject property before you for the rezoning application. Initially, when the conversations were being held, there was a site plan that was proposed which showed like a shared access running north and south. And as the development team continued to go through the review process and work with the applicant, it was determined and also agreed upon by the applicant for the stipulations that are before you that says both of those access points will be 100% on the subject property site.
Okay. So that's very clear. Now, if the applicant wishes to offer access or to that road, that is possible at any time. If they ever can come to agreement on the use of that road, would that be the case?
Mayor, Councilmember Clark, just a point of clarification. Once the development team worked with the applicant to establish those two access points, easements, the initial conversations were held in regards to that the subject property owner may or may not grant access. But it is intended for if anyone at any point in time desires to drive on those access points, that they will be able to have the ability to do so. So that's why I say it's in parentheses shared, because it is intended to have the access if any adjoining property owners or others wants to use it.
Okay. Then thirdly, Ms. Graber expressed concern about water rights and the irrigation ditch. First of all, the irrigation ditch is on the opposing party's property, correct?
Mayor, Councilmember Clark, that is correct.
It is not on the applicant's property. The applicant has no reason to do anything with regard to that irrigation ditch, correct?
Mayor, Councilmember Clark, that is correct, nor would the city would approve anything that will remove the ability for the opposing property owner to be able to have access. Legally, they have to have those rights.
Exactly. It is their legal right to retain access to the use of that irrigation ditch and their water rights. So there is no impingement on their water rights as a result of this application, correct?
Mayor, Councilmember Clark, council members, that is correct.
Okay. I believe those were the 3 areas of concern of the opposition to this application. Thank you, Ms. Perry. And I think Councilmember Turner asked about it, and now I've, on the record, gotten staff comments about all 3 areas. The city would not act in poor faith and not notify the applicants. We are sorry that you did not get the notifications, but we in good faith did mail them to you. They're green postcards. I know I get them all the time about land actions that are occurring in the city of Glendale. So if you did not get them, I'm sorry to hear that, but I think that staff in good faith did mail the notifications to you. Your access will remain intact on your dirt road or whatever the condition of the road is that you use to access your palm tree farm, and your irrigation ditch will remain untouched, and your water rights will remain preserved. And I think those were the 3 areas that you were concerned about. And I hope by going through this recitation, we've kind of relieved you of some of those concerns. With that, that is the extent of my comment.
All right, thank you. One of the things, I don't know if anybody paid attention, I think you pronounce it Graber? Ms. Graber, when she spoke, she said that her mother received the notices, I believe. Isn't that what you said? That's what I thought you said.
Did not receive them.
Okay, all right. Well, I misunderstood. I thought you said that your mother got it. Okay, all right. Okay, with that said, a lot of your concerns don't seem to be honest concerns. I understand your concern, but it doesn't look like they're issues. The applicant, even after both of you not agreeing, is still willing to give you opportunity to drive on his road. I think that's pretty neighborly, because he doesn't have to do that either. I wish you guys could work it out, but I don't really understand that what your concerns are as much as you spoke. But we're going to move on. Mr. Turner, did you have something to say?
I did have one question that occurred to me for Ms. Perry. In addition to mailing out notices, we also post in newspapers, and we also post a physical signage on the property, the subject property itself, probably one for the annexation and a separate one perhaps for the zoning question. Were those postings done in accordance with the law?
Mayor, Councilmember Turner, yes. The subject site was posted for the public hearing on the rezoning application, as well as it was printed in the notice of public hearing in the paper.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay. Any other questions? All right. Mr. Mehta, did you need to speak? Were you good?
Mr. Mayor, I think most of the questions were answered. So
all right, very good. Okay. Okay, so can I get a motion on item, well, first of all, if there's no other speakers on this, public hearing is now closed. Can I get a motion on item 17, number 17, ordinance 021-78?
Yes, Mayor. I move we pass and adopt ordinance number 021-78.
Second.
Okay, I've got a motion from Councilmember Clark, a second from the Vice Mayor to approve the recommended action. Any other discussion on the motion? Hearing none. Roll call vote. Councilmember Oldama, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Clark, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Melner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Tomachoff, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Turner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Vice Mayor, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. The motion carries unanimous. Ms. Barr, would you introduce item number 18 for us, please?
Ordinance number O21-79, an ordinance of the Council of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, extending and increasing the corporate limits of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, State of Arizona, pursuant to the provisions of Title IX, Chapter 4, Section 9-471, Arizona Revised Statutes, and its amendments by annexing certain territory located at 17019 West Peoria Avenue into the City of Glendale, consisting of approximately 262.7 acres acres to be known as Annexation Area Number AN 231, amending the zoning map, providing for an effective date, and directing the city clerk to record a certified copy of the ordinance. Public hearing.
All right, public hearing is now open on item number 18, ordinance 021-79. Ms. Perry.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. This annexation was first presented to Council at the September 28th Council workshop, where a consensus was given to proceed with this application. A public hearing on the blank petition was held on October the 26th, in which no one spoke in opposition of the annexation request. The application has complied with the city's annexation policy and supports growth management as noted in the city's general plan. This evening, staff recommendation is for council to make a motion and vote to adopt the annexation application AN-231. So the subject annexation property is titled Parkway 303 West, and it is approximately 263 acres in size, located at the southeast corner of Peoria Avenue and Cotton Lane. The subject site currently is in the county with county zoning of RU43, which allows for single-family residence. Upon annexation, city would apply the most compatible like zoning, which would be RR45, which also allows for a single-family residential development. So the applicant has also submitted a companion rezoning application to rezone the site from the RR45 to a PAD, planned area development, for a commercial and industrial development, which that application is next on the agenda, provided council approves the annexation. Here is an annexation map just to give context to the subject site in comparison to its location with other property that is within the city limits. And with that, Mayor and Council, I'll be happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Thank you. Any questions from the council? Seeing none, speaker cards.
No, sir.
Perfect. Anyone in the audience like to speak? Seeing none, public hearing is now closed. Can I get a motion on item number 18, ordinance 021-79?
Yes, Mayor, I move we pass and adopt ordinance number 021-79.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion from Councilmember Clark, second from Councilmember Tomshoff to approve the recommended action. Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Councilmember O'Donnell, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Clark, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Melner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Tomshoff, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Turner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Vice Mayor, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion carries unanimous. Ms. Barber, would you introduce item 19, please?
Ordinance number 021-80, an ordinance of the council of the city of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, rezoning 262 acres located at the southeast corner of Peoria Avenue and Cotton Lane from RR45 rural residential to PAD, planned area development, for development entitled Parkway 303 West, amending the zoning map, providing for an effective date, and directing the city clerk to record a certified copy of the ordinance. Public hearing.
Okay. Public hearing is now open on item number 19, ordinance 021-80. Ms. Perry.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. Once again, this project is titled Parkway 303 West, and it's the companion rezoning application to the annexation that Council just voted on in the previous item. The site is approximately 262 acres and is located at the southeast corner of Peoria Avenue and Cotton Lane. The request before you is to rezone the subject property from RR45 single-family residential to, which allows for a single-family residential, to PAD, planned area development, for a mixed use consisting of commercial and industrial development. Just so that council know, the applicant is present and prepared to do a presentation and or answer any questions that council may have.
All right, any questions from the council?
Mayor, I'm not done with the presentation.
Okay,
Do you
well,
want me
you
to
said
stop?
he's prepared to answer questions. We were going to see if they had any.
I'm
Go ahead.
sorry.
Go
Okay,
ahead.
thank you. Okay, so the general plan land use designation is for regional mixed use, and the PAD proposal will be consistent with that. Here's the zoning map that kind of just shows the subject site and surrounding zoning classification. Here's your area map just to give greater context to the subject site. Within the PAD, the applicant is proposing to allow for land uses that are allowed within the city zoning ordinance for C2, C3, M1, M2, and BP land uses, and that's basically commercial, industrial, and business park for clarification. The applicant is proposing a maximum building height of 85 feet. And Luke had no oppositions to the proposed height. Here's a site plan just to give additional context to what the applicant is proposing. The area that's circled is where the applicant is anticipating some level of commercial development. The actual square footage for that commercial development would be market-driven. And then the remainder of the site with the big boxes depicted on the conceptual site plan would be for industrial development, totaling approximately 3.4 million square feet of development. It's anticipated that Peoria Avenue will be controlled by, or it will be controlled by the City of Surprise and McDOT, as well as ADOT, for a projected project that will include 5 lanes. So the property owner will need to give up dedication right-of-way of 65 feet. And then there's half-street improvements. And then there's Cotton Lane that will be maintained by the county, and like so that right-of-way dedication is required in half-street improvements in compliance with the county. And then there's Olive Avenue, where access will be per the BNSF in the county. Here's very conceptual elevations just to give an idea of how the site may be developed. The applicant, when developers come in, will need to go through the design review process. Planning Commission gave a recommendation of approval of the rezoning application with stipulations that are outlined in the staff report. If council desires, I'll be happy to read those stipulations. If not, I'm prepared to answer any questions that council may have.
Any questions from the council? Seeing none. Do we have any speaker cards?
No, sir.
Perfect. Anyone in the audience needing to speak? Okay. Public hearing is now closed. Can I get a motion on item number 19, ordinance 021-80?
Mayor?
Go ahead.
I move that we approve and adopt ordinance number 021-80.
Second. I have a motion from Councilmember Mellor, second from Councilmember Aldama to approve the recommended action. Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Councilmember Aldama, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Clark, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Mellor, how do you vote? Aye. Councilmember Tomachoff, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Turner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Vice Mayor, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion carries unanimous. Ms. Bauer, would you introduce item 20, please?
Resolution number R21-120, a resolution of the Council of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, amending the general plan map of the City of Glendale, Arizona by approving general plan amendment GPA 21-10 for property located at 7410 North Zanjero Boulevard, ordinance number 021-81, an ordinance of the Council of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, rezoning 7.50 acres located at 7410 North Zanjero Boulevard from PAD planned area development to PAD for a development plan entitled the Capistrano, amending the zoning map, providing for an effective date, and directing the city clerk to record a certified copy of the ordinance. Public hearing.
Okay. Public hearing is now open on item number 20, resolution R21-120 and ordinance number 01-81. Ms. Perry.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. This is a request for approval of entitlements, a general plan amendment, and a rezoning on approximately 7.5 acres located west of the northwest corner of 91st Avenue and Zanjero Boulevard to allow for the development of 314 dwelling units at approximately 42 dwelling units per acre, which includes repurposing of an existing 3-story building that has remained vacant since construction more than a decade ago, and constructing a new 4-story building. The applicant has worked with the city's development team to ensure the existing building will meet city codes, and the full development proposal will meet all other city requirements, including infrastructure, utility, and traffic. Staff believes these applications are positive for the city, as it will allow for additional housing options which the market can bear in the area, and future occupancy of an existing well-architectural detailed designed building. Okay, so once again, before you are 2 actions required by council. One is for the minor general plan amendment to change the land use designation from corporate commerce center to entertainment mixed use. And then the second action requested of council is to rezone the site from PAD, planned area development. That current PAD is entitled Zanjero, to a PAD for the Capistrano. Here's a vicinity map just to give some context from where the subject site is located from City Hall, which is just west of City Hall, located once again at the northwest corner of 91st Avenue and Zanjero Boulevard. Here's a general plan map to give more context to the request for the minor general plan amendment, where the applicant is requesting for the site land use designation to be changed from the CCC to the EMU. It's based on the corporate commerce center having a desired amount of residential being 15% of the subject site, where the EMU allow for greater density for the residential. Here's the zoning map, just to give context to what surrounding zoning is. So once again, the proposal to rezone the site to PAD is complementary to surrounding zonings that are also zoned PAD. Here's an aerial map to give just a reminder of all the different developments that has occurred with multifamily surrounding the subject site. The casino is to the north. To the west is a site that is under construction for a multifamily for active seniors or active adults, 55 and older. And then just west of the site, there's additional multifamily development as well. County Quarter to the south is additional multifamily development. Here's an existing rendering of how the site is currently developed. And this is looking south from the property. Here's another perspective of how the site is currently developed, looking north of the property. Here is the conceptual site plan that is being considered. In the PAD application, the applicant is proposing residential for multifamily, as well as some commercial services that would be supportive of to the residents located within this multifamily development. The project details, once again, the applicant is proposing to construct 314 units and provide customer services to service the residents. Building heights. For the existing building, the applicant is proposing a maximum height of, let's see if we can get these arrows right, 85 feet. And then for the proposed 4-story building to be newly constructed, the applicant is proposing 65 feet. Okay. And then there's an existing access point off of Zanjero Boulevard. Okay. Here is a conceptual landscaping plan, just to give you a different visual of how the site will be developed or is being proposed for development. The applicant is proposing 15-foot landscaping buffer. The applicant is proposing a minimum 20% open space. There's several different types of luxury amenities that is being proposed for the site, which includes a dog park, fitness studio, a yoga lawn. Sorry about that. And that's just a summary of the amenities. There's other amenities that are being proposed for the subject site. Here's a conceptual building elevation, just to give additional perspective on how the ultimate build-out would be, which also include the additional 4-story building that would be added onto the site. Planning Commission provided a recommendation of approval of the minor general plan amendment as written, and the Planning Commission also recommended approval of the rezoning application subject to the stipulations that's outlined in the staff report as well as the ordinance. At the Planning Commission public hearing, there was no one there that spoke in opposition, and the applicant did comply with all the required citizen participation outreach as well as the legal requirements. With that, Mayor and Council, I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Any questions from the council? Okay, do we have any speaker cards on this item?
No, sir.
Okay, anyone in the audience wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none. My only comment is I didn't know we had any more room to grow in there, and it looks like we do. So with that, public hearing is now closed. Can I get a motion on item number 20, resolution R21-120?
Yes, Mayor. I move we pass and adopt resolution number R21-120.
Second.
Motion from Councilmember Clark, second from Councilmember Tomaschop for the recommended action. Any discussion on this motion?
Yes, Mayor.
Go ahead.
First, I want to thank, I call this, well, the project is called Capistrano, but I've called that particular vacant building San Juan Capistrano for 10 years or better. And I want to thank the developer's representative, Shane Allman, and their architect, Vince, whose last name I'm sorry, I can't remember, for incorporating so many elements of the original building, the corbels, the arch windows, the differentiating color around the arch windows, the balconies, the addition of more palm trees. Now the whole concept blends together. It looks like one piece, and it's a very, very unique property. I never thought I would say in my lifetime that I love an apartment complex, but I am saying I love this apartment complex. The architecture is unique. I am sure that many people will love it as much as I do. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Roll call vote. Councilmember Aldama, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Clark, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Melner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Tomaschop, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Turner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Vice Mayor, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion carries unanimous. Can I get a motion on item number 20, ordinance 021-81?
Yes, Mayor, I move we pass and adopt ordinance number 021-81. 81.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion from Councilmember Clark, second from Councilmember Tomaschop to recommended action. Any discussion on this motion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Councilmember Aldama, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Clark, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Melner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Tomaschop, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Turner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Vice Mayor, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. That motion also carries unanimous. Moving on to ordinances. Ms. Bauer, would you introduce item 21, ordinance 021-82?
Ordinance number 021-82, an ordinance of the Council of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, amending the Glendale City Code, Chapter 2, Article 2, Division 1 by amending Section 2-20 relating to council districts and declaring an emergency. Mayor and Council, the proposed ordinance adopts the new council district boundaries that council reached consensus on at its workshop meeting on November 9th. If approved, the new boundaries would go into effect immediately and would be submitted to the Maricopa County Recorder by the December 15th deadline to create the appropriate voting precincts for the 2022 council election. We don't have a presentation, but Doug Johnson, our consultant from NDC, is attending virtually, and he's here to answer any questions that council might have.
Thank you. Any questions from the council? Hearing none, can I get a motion on item number 21, ordinance 021-82?
Mayor,
Go ahead.
I move that we adopt and approve ordinance number 021-82.
Second.
I have a motion from Councilmember Melner, second from the Vice Mayor, to approve the recommended action. Any discussion on the motion?
Yes, Mayor.
Go ahead.
I am disappointed that this map does not incorporate the request of the Independence Heights neighborhood. Be that as it may, I want council to understand a couple of things. One, we are staving off the inevitable. The city will continue to grow and has been evidenced by data that was submitted by the consultant. The Yucca District is going to grow incredibly in population. And I think we are simply putting off the inevitable in an effort to keep the boundary lines as close to what they have always been as possible. I know that in 10 years, I don't know if I'll be around in 10 years, but if I'm around in 10 years, I'm going to say, I told you so. There will be dramatic shifts in the boundaries to accommodate all the growth that will have occurred in the Yucca District in 10 years. It will be incredible. And every district will have to move south and west. So that is coming, and I think we just preferred not to deal with it this time and kept the boundaries as close to their original designations as they were. But what you have done is you have preserved the largest geographical district in Glendale. You have encouraged the largest population growth that will occur within any district in the next few years. And you have preserved the district that remains the economic driver for the city. Clearly, 80% of all the economic activity occurring and the revenue being generated is coming from the Yucca District. In other words, you have created a gorilla in the room, and that gorilla is the Yucca District. I think that knowing that it will be the largest in size, emphasizing that it will have the most population and population growth, and be the largest economic driver in the city, makes a very strong case for completing Heroes Park, all of it. I don't think that you can ignore the district that is the largest in the city with a future within, I would say, the next 2 years, largest population in the city. I think between South and West Glendale, you will see the population of just the between Ocotillo, south half of Cactus, and the Yucca District contain over half the population of the entire city. And that's what this park will serve, is nearly half the city. And with that, I just wish to express the fact that I will be voting no on this district, on these district boundaries.
Not
Thank
time
you,
to
Mayor.
vote yet.
No, I know, but
we're getting close.
I just explained my vote.
Okay. Councilmember Aldama, how do you vote? Aye. Councilmember Clark, how do you vote?
Nay.
Councilmember Melner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Tomachoff, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Turner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Vice Mayor, how do you vote?
Aye.
I'm going to explain my vote. I want to thank all of you for preserving my district. I vote aye. Ms. Barr, would you introduce item 22, ordinance 021-83?
Ordinance number 021-83, an ordinance of the Council of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, authorizing cash and appropriation balance transfers between budget items in the adopted fiscal year 2020-2021 budget.
Mayor, members of the council, here to provide staff report this evening is our Budget and Finance Director, Lisette Camacho.
Thank you, Mr. Phelps. Good evening, Mayor, members of the council. This request is to approve fiscal year 2021 budget amendments. This is appropriation or budget transfer only. No cash is being moved. Exhibit A contains the details of the budget. The fiscal year 2021 total appropriation for the City of Glendale remains unchanged with this action. That concludes my presentation. I'll be happy to answer your questions.
That was way too fast. Can you do it again? No. Any questions from the council? Seeing none, can I get a motion on number 22, ordinance 021-83?
Mayor, I move we pass and adopt ordinance 02183 and waive reading beyond the title.
Second.
Councilmember Turner, second Councilmember Clark to approve the recommended action. Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Councilmember Aldama, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Clark, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Milner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Tomachoff, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Turner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Vice Mayor, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion carries unanimous. Ms. Bauer, would you introduce item 23, ordinance 021-84?
Ordinance number 021-84, an ordinance of the Council of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, authorizing the execution of an irrigation easement in favor of Salt River Project, Agricultural Improvement and Power District, located at the southeast corner of Northern Avenue and 87th Avenue, and directing the city clerk to record a certified copy of the ordinance.
Mayor, members of the council, here to provide staff report is Don Bessler, our city engineer.
Thank you, Mr. Phelps. Mayor, council members, this is a request to adopt an ordinance as stated for an irrigation easement will be granted to the Salt River Project. It's in support of economic development, specifically the Palermo subdivision. That concludes my remarks. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? No questions? Okay, that showed here that Jamie was going to originally do this, so we got you instead, right?
Yes.
All right. Is there a motion on number 23, ordinance 021-84?
Mayor, I move we pass and adopt ordinance 02184 and waive reading beyond the title.
Second.
Motion from Councilmember Turner, second from Councilmember Clark for the recommended action. Any discussion on this motion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Councilmember Aldama, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Clark, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Milner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Tomachoff, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Turner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Vice Mayor, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion carries unanimous. Ms. Bauer, would you introduce item 24, ordinance number 021-85?
Ordinance number 021-85, an ordinance of the Council of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, authorizing the execution of an irrigation easement in favor of Roosevelt Irrigation District located at the northwest corner of 99th Avenue and Glendale Avenue, and directing the city clerk to record a certified copy of the ordinance.
Mayor, members of the council, here to stand in for Jamie Chapin is our Director of Engineering, Don Bessler.
Thank you, Mr. Phelps, and Mayor, thank you, council members. I'm honored to stand in for Jamie Chapin. She's the one you're used to seeing do this, and she asked me to help her out tonight. She's got some family matters, so as you know, she's just an incredible employee, so I'll do my best. This is a request to adopt an ordinance. It is for an irrigation easement as described. It's to the Roosevelt Irrigation District, and the most important thing is this is in support of our Glendale Avenue reconstruction project. That concludes my comments.
Very good. Questions? Hearing none, can I get a motion?
Yes, Mayor, I move we adopt ordinance number 021-85.
Second.
Okay, I have Councilmember Tomachoff, second Councilmember Clark to approve the recommended action. Any discussion on this motion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Councilmember Aldama, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Clark, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Milner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Tomachoff, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Turner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Vice Mayor, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion carries unanimous also. Moving on to resolutions. Ms. Bauer, would you introduce item 25, resolution R21-121?
Resolution number R21-121, a resolution of the Council of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, approving the amended submission of the City of Glendale's 2021 Community Housing Annual Public Housing Agency Plan, Form HUD-50075-ST, to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development public hearing.
Mayor, members of the council, here to provide staff report this evening is Jean Marino, our Director of Community Services.
Thank you, Mr. Phelps. Good evening, Mayor and Council. This is a request for City Council to conduct a public hearing and waive reading beyond the title to adopt a resolution that would amend the city's 2021 Public Housing Agency Plan. The amendment will add 2 chapters to our Housing Choice Voucher Administrative Plan. Both chapters are regulatory in nature. The first chapter is to document our policies related to the administration of the Emergency Housing Voucher Program, which was launched on July 1st and Council had previously acted upon in May. The second chapter will allow the city to take advantage of an economic development tool to attract the creation of new housing units in Glendale through the use of project-based vouchers. There's no new funding associated with the use of this tool, but it will serve as a mechanism to address the supply shortage in our community with new high-quality units that are affordable for our workforce. Additionally, the units will be required to rent at published fair market rental rates, which will allow for more consistent budgetary planning for the housing program. Glendale is currently the only housing authority in our region that is not authorized to use this economic development tool. So this action tonight is intended to help us have a competitive advantage to assist housing developers in our community. This tool will be critical to ensuring the long-term financial feasibility of new developments because it makes the new developments competitive for private financing, state tax credits, and county tax credits as well. Tonight's action is just this first step in the process, and future council actions would be required to award project-based vouchers to affordable developers in the future. The plan was posted for the required 45-day comment period. One public comment was received in favor of the project-based vouchers. There were no other public comments. That concludes the presentation. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, questions from the council?
Yes, Mayor.
Go ahead.
2 questions, Ms. Moreno. One, could you explain what you mean by project-based vouchers?
Mayor and Councilmember Clark, so a project-based voucher is taking one of our existing housing choice vouchers and it's dedicating it to a specific development. So as an example, a new development coming online, they're developing 100 units. We may end up doing an award of RFP to provide 30 project-based vouchers specifically for that new development.
So let me see if I understand. So a developer who's coming in to develop an apartment complex, it is possible that the city could somehow or other use a voucher so that 30 of those units would be dedicated directly to the city? Is that?
Mayor and Councilmember Clark, it would be so that those 30 units would be deemed affordable and specifically to address the needs of our population and our community that would utilize those vouchers.
Okay. Then the other term that I'd like an explanation for is market rates. What are market rates, and give me an example of a market rate today.
Mayor and Councilmember Clark, the fair market rents that I'm referencing, that these units would be required to abide by fair market rents, those are published rents that are published by the Department of Housing and Urban Development every year on an annual basis. And they're designed so to ensure that our housing assistance payments are being made in accordance with what a fair market rent is in the value in the region. And so there's study that goes into it, and again, those are rates that are published by HUD. I could certainly follow up with you and send you the 2022 fair market rent rates. I don't want to state something that's incorrect, but they go based on unit size. So
okay. I would love to know the fair.
Sure.
Please do send me that information. Thank you.
Mayor. Thank you, Mayor. This is essentially, actually it's a great tool, but essentially it's a tool to increase our affordable home inventory, right, which we're doing, but doing very slowly, so this essentially helps.
Mayor and Councilmember Aldama, you're absolutely correct. It's a tool that we can use to leverage with other funding sources through the state, county, and even private financing.
Ms. Moreno, can you explain, because some are probably watching and saying, well, that's most likely going to reduce the availability of use of that voucher for a family. Can you explain how that works, how that balances out?
Mayor and Councilmember Aldama, the reason why this tool is important for us is because what we're experiencing right now in the current market is a lack of affordable units. This will actually help us sustain the inventory of units that are required to remain affordable for a long period of time, typically about 30 years. So what that means for the people that we serve in our community who need these units is that we will definitely have places that are required to maintain affordability.
Thank you. I haven't taken a vote yet, but really proud to know that we're taking a step and steps into the right direction of increasing that inventory. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Yeah, that brings up one more question. Are we currently using, or have we targeted any projects for the use of these project-based vouchers to date?
Mayor and Councilmember Clark, not specifically for project-based vouchers. We have to follow the HUD process. We have to have our plan approved, and then we have to go through a competitive process. What I can tell you, however, is that the state has an application open for their tax credit program. They have 2 different programs that they offer, and developers' ability to leverage other funding sources is a competitive points-driven component of how those awards will get made. So after we get through this process and after we get HUD's approval to actually move forward and we do a competitive process to identify developers to utilize these projects, this would make their applications for those other tax credit programs more competitive.
Okay, thank you.
Mayor? Thank you. Ms. Marino, I have a question. Can this type of funding be used for like a targeted, maybe that's not the right word, but a specific demographic? Let's say, I know Tempe has that housing that they built right on the light rail line for hearing impaired residents, and there's, seniors or visually impaired or, adults with developmental issues or whatever. Are you able to use this mechanism for the veterans, for any type of specific demographic of people?
Mayor and Councilmember Chomlachov, all of those populations and demographics that you mentioned are actually very suitable for all of our housing programs. As you know, we have specific local preferences for our existing housing program, and those would also apply to project-based vouchers as well.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, I'm sort of going to make a statement and I guess form it in a question at the same time. One of the biggest problems that we're having today, and I know that you know this, is our seniors. They're the people that rent are being priced out of their homes, just simply for the fact that rents have gone up so much. And as the homeless problem increases and gets worse, these are exactly the things that we need to help our seniors, to help a lot of really good people that are just being forced out because of rents increasing. With that said, I'm in full support of this. I do have a card, I think it's pronounced Clock, that said he would like to speak. Don't know if you need to, but you're certainly welcome to.
I will be brief, I promise.
Okay, for the record, your name, who you work for, and where you reside.
Mayor and members of council, my name is Dan Clockey. I work as the project development manager for Gorman & Company, which is a national housing builder. And we're privileged to have built and owned 2 projects just down the street here from City Hall. G. Moreno basically spoke to most of what I want to say, and so I don't want to get into the weeds on anything. Simply put, the project-based vouchers, which we have used as the company again and again and again, allows us to help with the financing of these projects, and in turn leverages the tax credits as talked about, literally tens of millions of dollars that can be brought into your community to develop projects, high quality projects, I would add, to make sure that folks who need affordable housing have that. And these vouchers lock us in and make sure that we rent to people that are at that income target. Many of our projects actually speak to the needs of some of the people that you've spoken about. We have programs for veterans, we have programs for female veterans, we have programs for seniors, we have programs for low-income families. And so all of these people benefit from this program. And so we'd be really excited to be able to apply for an RFP and hopefully win some vouchers in order to build in your city.
All right, thank you. Okay, public hearing is now open on item number 25. Any questions from the council? Hearing none. That was the only speaker card that I had. Is there anyone else wishing to speak? Seeing none. Public hearing is now closed. Can I get a motion on item 25, resolution R21-121?
Mayor.
Go ahead.
Yeah, motion to approve item number 25, resolution number R21-121.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion from Councilmember Aldama, second from the Vice Mayor to approve the recommended action. Discussion on the motion. Hearing none. Roll call vote. Councilmember Aldama, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Clark, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Milner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Tomachoff, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Turner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Vice Mayor, how do you vote?
Aye.
I'm going to explain my vote. I'm really excited about this. It's one more tool, and I wanted to wrap it up with Ms. Moreno. I'm so proud of you. You're doing an awesome job. We really lucked out having you take charge of this program. You're just doing awesome. Thank you. With that, I vote aye. Okay, moving on to new business. Ms. Bauer, would you introduce item 26 for us?
Authorization to enter into a settlement agreement with Standard Construction Company, Inc.
Mayor, members of council, here to represent Don Bessler is Don Bessler, our engineering director.
Thank you, Mr. Phelps. Mayor, as stated, this is a request to authorize the city manager to enter into a settlement agreement that resolves pending litigation with Standard Construction Company. That's the end of my remarks.
Okay, we have any speaker cards?
No, sir.
Okay, any questions from the council? Hearing none, is there a motion on item 26?
Yes, Mayor. I move we approve item 26, authorization to enter into a settlement agreement with Standard Construction Company Incorporated.
Second.
I have a motion from the Vice Mayor, a second from Councilmember Clark to approve the recommended action. Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none. Roll call vote. Councilmember Aldama, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Clark, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Milner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Tomchoff, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Turner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Vice Mayor, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. That motion carries unanimous. Moving on to council comments and suggestions. Mr. Aldama.
Thank you, Mayor. Just want to read some very exciting news here. Give me a minute here. The Human Rights Campaign, otherwise known as HRC, just released its scorecard for the 2021 Municipal Equity Index, otherwise known as MEI. The MEI is a nationwide evaluation of cities that examine how the inclusive municipal laws, policies, and services are of the LGBT plus people who live and work there. Cities are rated, I can't see, I'm sorry. Cities are rated based on the non-discrimination laws of the municipalities as employers, municipal services, law enforcement, and leadership on LGBT plus equity. I'm proud to announce that Glendale received a score of 94, our highest score since the beginning of Glendale, while they included Glendale in their index. It is one of the highest scores in the state of Arizona. Our score is an important indicator that we are making progress. A high score is also important as we continue to pursue future opportunities to host mega events, attract world-class businesses that have also prioritized this area of inclusiveness. I want to highlight some of the many actions that have been taken to date by the City Council and the City of Glendale. The city signed on to the One Community Unity Pledge. Our Personnel Board implemented international or internal non-discrimination policy applicable to city contracts and vendors. City management updated our human resources policies to include non-discrimination protections for employees. A LGBTQ liaison to the city manager and the executive management team was put in place, which also serves as a voice for the public. The City Council workshop hired a professional facilitator to hold several different public meetings on this topic. The City Council created a Human Relations Commission and tasked them with identifying ways to unite our diverse community. Lastly, in May of this year, this City Council adopted a formal non-discrimination ordinance that was enacted citywide. I'm proud of our efforts on this issue. I thank the City Council and our city staff for their work, and I look forward to identifying additional opportunities for Glendale to set itself apart as a city of equity and inclusion. Very proud of our staff. Thank you, Mayor.
Councilmember Clark.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to wish everyone a very happy Thanksgiving and enjoy your very expensive turkey dinner. Thank you.
Councilmember Milner.
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to offer my gratitude at this time of the year. First, for the opportunity to serve with these great women and men here on this dais, as well as the city manager and all of the staff in the city of Glendale. I appreciate very much all that you do for the citizens of this great state, or this great city. Also, I'm grateful for my wife and family, my health, and also grateful for all the citizens of this great city who dedicate their time and effort to help others, to donate their time and efforts and monies to help improve people's lives. And I encourage each of you to reflect on all that you can be grateful for during this Thanksgiving season. Enjoy your Thanksgiving holiday.
Councilmember Tomchoff.
Turn my microphone on. I also would like to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving, and I'm grateful to be able to work in the city that I think, as Councilmember
What's your name
Mound.
again? No,
No,
the one on the
Aldama.
end. Aldama.
I really like working with him. What's your name?
That guy on the end. Said though, I mean, we've done a lot of, over the last years, a lot of really good things. I'm flabbergasted when I saw that we're literally ahead of some pretty progressive cities. So, I mean, this is I think a new day in Glendale. I'm just really proud to work with the staff that we work with, the Jamie Chapin impersonators, and all of you. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. And one last thing, to Choya residents, on December 2nd, we're having a traditional district meeting. Water Services is going to do a presentation on water resources, including the Tier 1 Colorado River shortages. It's at 5:30 December 2nd at the Foothills Recreation Aquatic Center. There will be a boxed lunch-style dinner served. So hope you can attend and have a safe Thanksgiving. Thank you.
Councilmember Turner?
Thank you, Mayor. I would, of course, like to extend my best holiday wishes to our employees and to all the residents of Glendale. Just between our workshop and this afternoon and just prior to our voting meeting tonight, I had reason to run quickly into the local Fry's grocery store. The parking lot was full, but equally important, so were the shelves. And it just made me think about how blessed we are to live at a time and a place with such abundance. And if our Thanksgiving dinner costs us a little bit more, well, we're still doing far better than most people, most places, and for that, I'll be thankful. Thank you, Mayor.
Vice Mayor.
I get to go last next to you, Mayor. Yeah, you know what? I'm thankful. I live in the greatest country in the world, and it is a pleasure to serve with my fellow council members and the staff of the city of Glendale. And merry and happy Thanksgiving.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to do the Thanksgiving theme because I'm still working on my Christmas parade. December 11th, make sure that you folks come out December 11th, Saturday. It starts promptly at 11 a.m. And keep in mind that this Christmas parade continues to grow. We have an opportunity right now, potentially we may have another 1,000 or so Santa Clauses maybe in our parade at the very end of it. So it's just an exciting time. These things keep getting bigger and better, and we want to make certain that we have no issues like they had in Wisconsin. But we pray for their families who have lost and the people that are suffering right now. Also hope that we have no issues like that. So with that, I want to wish you all the best. Be safe. If you drink, take an Uber, stay home, but please don't drive. With that, we have no speaker to take. We do have one gentleman here. Got one man. I didn't forget you, sir. Dennis Nielsen, where are you at? Come on up here, sir. You got something important you want to talk about. I almost cut you off. I didn't mean to do that. This is the citizens' comments. We make opportunity for our citizens to talk about things that are not on our agenda. So with that, sir, if you'll state your name, where you reside, the district, I don't need your actual address, just your district, and we'll give you 3 minutes. Go ahead, sir.
Mr. Mayor, council members, my name is Dennis Nielsen. I live in the Saguaro District, and I live at 6501 West Port Royale Lane. I've been at this residence for 35 years now, and we have been involved in a lot of the game night, block watch, city-sponsored home improvements or land improvements. And my concern tonight is, I know the city has passed an ordinance about pigeons, and it's in the public area. Well, on my street, we have a homeowner who continually feeds these pigeons. The flock has grown now, I'm going to say a wag of 50 plus that rotate from housetop to housetop to housetop. They originate at one particular homeowner every day. And this has been going on for years. We have confronted the homeowners to ask them if they could please back off on feeding these birds, and to no avail. I know we have contacted code compliance folks, and I think we've contacted Councilman Malinar about it, what can be done. I think the ordinance needs to be expanded to confront private citizens who, this is creating a health hazard in our street. I have a number of letters from homeowners in the surrounding area who are tired of the litter. They breed rats. We have homeowners that are just wanting to say, I want to move out because these pigeons just inundate our entire end of the street. It's unsightly. Once a week, I have one vehicle that I have to park in the street, and at least once a week I'm out cleaning it, okay? What do? Do I send them a bill for cleaning my vehicle? I mean, and if anybody's had pigeon problems on your vehicle, you know what it does to the finish. What I'm asking is if the city can maybe robust the ordinance on that. I know the city of Phoenix has an ordinance that pertains to both private and public control. I know the Phoenix ordinance says if there's more than 3 complaints by one individual that they would step in and take, I don't know what the action would be, but it's just creating such a health hazard for us. I have testimonies here from homeowners all around. If you like, I can leave them with the council.
Leave them with our clerks.
Okay, and I appreciate your concern, and thank you for listening to me, and have a Thanksgiving.
Thank you,
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, there being no further business for this council tonight, I want to thank everyone for attending tonight's meeting. If there's no objection from the council, we're adjourned.